jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Yo, shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS is the first in the building. Big salute for those that's en route. Let's get down to it. You see the thumbnail, MMA boxing, post-fight tussle. Let's talk about it. UFC 308 went down. Oh, man, what a hell of a freaking fight card. And for those of you that's not understanding, that mixed martial arts is absolutely in the building. It's been in the building for quite some time. We had Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker, former champion in Robert Whittaker, man. And he ends up getting him up out of there in the first round. Submission. Crazy, yo. I mean, hell of a freaking card. Hell of a freaking card. I ain't gonna lie. Heck of a freaking card. And then you have Ilian Topuria in there against Max Holloway, the former featherweight world champion, one of the best featherweight world champions. He gets a shot again with Topuria, who's just been on a tear. The fight was scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds, y'all. It didn't take that long. Both fighters came out with their game plan. I like how Topuria came out with low calf kicks while Max Holloway was going up top. Sometimes it would be Max throwing, counter shots up top, and then he'd throw the cheap kick up the middle, 12 o'clock, or he'll, try to keep Topuria guessing with those high kicks to the head, which Topuria handled pretty well. And with Topuria's response, he was pretty much, like I said, rendering those low calf kicks. If freaking Max Holloway was kicking, Topuria was what? Punching. When Max was punching, Topuria was kicking. That's pretty much how the first round went. You know what I'm saying? It was back and forth exchanges, filling each other out. Max seemed to have, the timing down pretty decent, and his chin seemed to hold up pretty well. It was early in the fight, though. The second round, you can see Topuria switched it up a little bit. First round, he was throwing those combinations just outside distance, missing a bit. And sometimes he had to close distance and get within the danger zone to land some punches. And that's where Max Holloway in the second round started inserting elbows into his striking, which he did land some elbows. He started to, make Topuria wear the fight just a little bit. But Topuria, man, showed very solid boxing skills as a mixed martial artist. I would say the champion Alexander Volkanovski, I've been on record as saying he has some of the best hands in combat sports. But looking at Topuria, who is absolutely schooled in the BJJ game, his striking is on point. Not only is striking on point, he has power in that striking. And I do believe if there's a striker that I would say, okay, they would do pretty decent in boxing, it would be Alexander Volkanovski, who happened to be in the featherweight division, and Ilian Topuria. But besides that, both fighters made adjustments in the second round. They went to a bit more active exchanges where you seen Topuria sitting down on his punches. Max Holloway was able to land some good solid shots on Topuria, but he showed that he had a good beard, solid beard. You know, it wasn't punch resistant, but you know, it was pretty decent. And then the third round, man, I don't know what it is with these left hooks, but he hit Max Holloway with a right hand and then dropped him with a left hook. Max was hurt. Then he went in for the finish, hit him again, knocked him down, closed him out with some hammer strikes. And this is no controversial freaking stoppage. Max was out. Like his eyes was open, but he wasn't at home. You know what I'm saying? His eyes was loopy. I mean, his brain was on some Star Talk. You know, they was up in space somewhere. Topuria showed why he's a very likable fighter. He's a user-friendly fighter. Very exciting. And you should keep your eyes out on Topuria. You know what I'm saying? This is the Max Holloway who Dana White obviously respects enough to keep bringing him back and providing him an opportunity to become world champion again. This man has already became featherweight world champion, one of the best ever. So he was given the opportunity and was stopped. But it was glad to see Max come off such a devastating win over Justin Gaethje, the knockout that was seen all around the world. And what did Topuria do to open the fight? He went to the center of the cage, y'all, and he waved Max to the center. He said, "Come on, just like you do everybody else. Okay, come to the center. Let's scrap. Let's throw punches. That's what I want to see. I'm here. I see you being the matador to everybody else. Come on." Max didn't bite. Max, you know, stayed where he was. He pretty much gestured like he was the matador and Topuria was the bull, and they got to scrapping. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't an all-out brawl like what happened in the final round between him and Justin Gaethje, but it was a very likable fight, championship fight, very entertaining. I say that fight was more entertaining than what I witnessed over there with Regis Prograis and Jack Catterall. I'm not trying to hate the Khamzat Chimaev, man. He's been inactive here and there. He had a skin I wouldn't say disability, but he had a skin disease or something like that, inflammatory skin disease that he went through. He broke out. He had an outbreak or something like that. So he's been pretty inconsistent with how many times he's been in the cage. But one thing we know about Khamzat is very strong grappler, very strong fighter in general, contending now at middleweight division. He was at 170. Now he's up at 185 in the middleweight division. And he went in there against a former world champion who's been in there with the who's who of the middleweight division. And Khamzat pretty much went in there and showed why he's him. I mean, of course, Khamzat hasn't yet because he had this growth spurt. You know what I'm saying? He had this weight issue. And that was one of the big concerns, was Khamzat Chimaev going to make weight? Because that is a big dude. You know what I'm saying? But to see him go in there against Robert Whittaker, who just doesn't get subbed like that. It's been several years since Robert Whittaker has been subbed, period, in a loss. Khamzat went in there, and it seemed like he didn't even have a freaking full choke in. The sub was there, position before submission. The sub was there, but it just didn't seem like it. You know, it was deep under the chin, but obviously it was because Robert Whittaker, he tapped before Khamzat even flattened him out. That's a hell of a freaking vice grip, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, that's a hell of a freaking vice grip right there. It's all remind me of Khabib Nurmagomedov, Conor McGregor. When he locked in the choke and it wasn't even on the chin, under the chin all the way. And it was a fulcrum choke. He had it along the jawline. And that squeeze was crazy. That Conor say, you know what? I need to tap before this guy had me in the hospital getting a goddamn jaw replacement. So these guys, Hamza, you know, Khabib and all them guys, man, they train different, man. And you know, Chimaev is one of those guys that's going to have to go into the middleweight championship and prove to the people he's just not a hype job. Obviously, this dude is super strong, talented. He was exposed by Gilbert Burns. My gosh, shout out to Gilbert. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Gilbert. He was exposed by Gilbert, a BJJ champion now, but he worked on his freaking boxing down there in Florida with my guy Derek. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Derek. He improved his boxing skill and he exposed Hamza Chimaev, but that was at 170. Now Hamza is 185, middleweight. He looks the whole part, and let's see how he goes. Because look, there's only so many other divisions that he can pretty much contend in, to be honest with you. So shout out to Hamza Chimaev, straight up killer. Shout out to Ilian Topuria. Topuria got the job done. And you see Max Holloway over there sunbathing under the lights, man. I like Max Bless Holloway. I had a chance to see him back in the day. You know, good dude, represents Hawaii. And he just at one of those points in his career where it seems like he's had the good fights. He's taken a lot of punishment, and his chin may not be, you know, in the type of cement that he wanted to. Maybe that cement just can't settle no more. It's too many freaking hairline fractures. So you can't feel those freaking fractures anymore with that cement. The brick and mortar is done. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Big Blunts and Boxing on deck. Content Entertainment on deck. Salute to you. I'm good. No doubt. UFC 308 went down, so I just wanted to get that out the way. You know what I'm saying? The top two fights I wanted to talk about. Yeah, Robert Whittaker ended up being subbed in round one. Man, I was looking at that bet. I just don't know. I mean, it's hard to call somebody being subbed out, and Robert Whittaker haven't been subbed out in several years by anybody. But I should have freaking known Chimaev, man. You know, he's that dude, but he fought at a catchweight of 180. And now, you know, he came in for middleweight division, made weight. I don't know how far he's going to go. Dana's going to have him in a title fight. He has to get the title fight. He has to get the title, you know, to cement himself. You know, it's a lot of hype behind this guy, like I said. And then to go into the main event, Topuria, Holloway definitely gave you what you came to the arena to see. They gave you technical mixed martial arts striking entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Very high level striking. I like the way Holloway inserted his step in elbows on Topuria, and I like how Topuria used his counter combinations along with that lethal low calf kick on Max, which it's to me it didn't seem like it affected him, but it will slow you down a little bit, especially if you're not Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying? And then to see him land that left hook on Max's chin and Max's eyes rolled, became marbles. I mean, that left hook, man, I don't know what's going on. I think a lot of people that may have taken the vaccine may have not taken the vaccine. I don't know. It's something with that left hook, man. It's almost like a virus. We seeing people get clean with the left hook, man. You know how it was a point in time in boxing where fighters wasn't even using like the uppercut too much anymore. You know what I'm saying? They was just in there boxing. They wasn't really using the uppercut anymore. But it seems like the left hook is becoming a thing, y'all. I'm just saying. let's get to Tyson Fury. You know, as much as I've known Tyson Fury, right? I've been at a point where I just didn't like him because I thought he was a dirtbag. And I kind of still believe he is, but I have met him in person. He wasn't an asshole to me, but I just never liked him because I supported Deontay Wilder heavy. Everybody knows that. And we all know Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder had a hell of a trilogy. Shout out to the WBC king, Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, he was my Muhammad Ali of this era. But I want you to listen to something before you start to leave and feel some type of way. Because this is the first time that I say, you know what? I can respect Fury now. I respect him now a little bit. I mean, a pinhole little. He earned my respect without doing it in the ring. Because look, he never would have did it in the ring for me, bro. He never would have did it in the ring. But I want you to listen to something right quick. Okay? Let's listen to something right quick. And you'll see what I'm talking about.
He's pretty good though, right?
Yeah, he's a good
Best
boxer.
you faced?
No, nowhere near. No. I think the fights were wilder when you bounced off the canvas 2 and 3 times and 10 knockdowns, and at any given moment you can be took out, is a lot more dangerous than having a boxing match with this guy.
There's only one Deontay Wilder. There's only one Bronze Bomber. There's only one Deontay Wilder. Kudos to Tyson Fury for recognizing game. Kudos to the Bronze Bomber Bomb Squad. Because to all the haters, I have to address that Tyson Fury considered one of the best heavyweights of this era in a trilogy. Him and Deontay Wilder know each other very, very well. At one point in time, it was bad blood, y'all. It was seriously bad blood. And now you cannot sit up here and finger point with extended elbows, hyper extended, disjointed, and say, WCS, you ain't nothing but a Deontay Wilder dick rider. Well, guess what? Why don't y'all go knocking on Tyson Fury's door and tell him he's a delusional dick rider? Because he said that Alexander Usyk wasn't by far the best opponent he's faced. He said Deontay Wilder. This is what I've been saying about the knockdowns and everything. All y'all want to do is get on here and show me that you understand what that acronym stands for, right? Delta, Kilo, Sierra, Alpha, Bravo, over. Do you read? Delta, Kilo, Sierra, Alpha, Bravo. Do you read? Copy, over. Some of you is up here proving that you don't know shit about boxing. Because in this era, Fury, Wilder, Fury was one of the toughest trilogies that we witnessed. Brutal. The multiple knockdowns, the punishment that was taken, Deontay Wilder being dropped, stopped in the trilogy. He said he wanted to go out on his shield. He made that perfectly clear. That was his declaration. He put it out to the team when he went in there for the trilogy. We're talking about a person who went through arbitration to get that trilogy because he felt that he can go in there and get that title back. And now Fury comes to his senses and basically admit that Wilder was his toughest opposition. So you take that and you do what you like with it because it hits different when it's coming from him and not me. You know what I'm saying? It hits you a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? See, when I said it was probably your taste buds, swallowed it like a salt tablet. You know what I'm saying? With no chaser. I know because of the, what I'm saying, the haterade. But then when Tyson Fury, someone who been in the four-corner dominion with Deontay Wilder 3 times and beat Deontay Wilder 2 of those 3 times, he admitted that was the toughest opposition. That was the best opposition he's faced. So give it up for the Bronze Bomber because Tyson Fury was awarded. When he defeated Wilder, he was rewarded for that win. When Wilder was never recognized and given his flowers from those that should have gave him his flowers and put him on the fight of the year with all those defenses, Tyson Fury got rewarded for the 10 successful defenses, right? The 10 successful defenses in over 5 years reigning. Tyson Fury himself has came out with the admission to say Deontay Wilder was the best fighter he faced. Then to all you haters, there's only one bronze bomber. There's only one Deontay Wilder. Now you know. I'm not going to tell you to stop hating. I want you to continue to hate because it's not going to stop anything. But just know this, WCS, put it out there, and I gave you evidence that it came from Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? It came from Tyson Fury himself, not Scotty. Fury, not Scotty, but Fury. Tyson Fury. He has put it on record that Deontay Wilder was his best opposition to date. Now y'all need to sit up here and go back in your catalog and really ask yourself, God damn, should I erase all the damn hate videos I did of Wilder? All this, oh, well, he doesn't have any technical skills. That proves it right there with Fury. The heavyweight division is always going to have unorthodox, eccentric, you know what I'm saying, unreadable, apart from the template of styles when it comes to boxing all the time. And Wilder was one of those people who we already know the backstory, him fast tracking through the Olympics and earning the bronze medal, the only one to medal, the only male to medal during that time, and then go on to be one of the best heavyweight champions in the world. And to hear Tyson Fury admit to this, even the interviewer himself was trying to load open-ended questions and say, he's one of the best you ever faced, right? No, not even close. Not even close. Getting off the canvas the way I did from that right hand and swiping away the birds that didn't exist, but I seen them flying. Tyson Fury recognized game. He recognized that Jack Reese saved his mother effing life. Thank you, Jack Reese, for that interview you did. Thank you. Unfortunately, we weren't able to carry on conversations like we used to before I thought, before I let you know that I thought it was a long count. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have thick skin. And the boxing game is extremely grimy. I let Jack Reese know that I thought it was a long count, but Jack Reese saved Tyson Fury's career. He did. He saved his career. He really did. Because look, could you imagine Wilder knocking out Fury cold in that fight? What it would have did to Wilder's career, having Fury already on the win column, it would have been nothing else to prove. It would have been nothing else to prove. And we don't know if the Wilder Fury would have reached a trilogy. We don't know that for sure. But what we do know that Wilder will leave boxing without Tyson Fury being on his win column, knowing that he was the first one to knock Fury out cold. And Jack Reese saved his life. Jack Reese was on his knees like they was having goddamn Ramadan. Jack Reese was on his knees like he was at a revival. Dear Heavenly Father, the Most High, the Supreme Being. I mean, like they was at a revival, and Jack Reese was praying for Tyson to open his eyes and get up. The Holy Spirit hit Tyson Fury and he got up, man. But I'm not even going to make no light of it. I just want to show my appreciation for Tyson Fury making us aware that finally he admitted what myself and a lot of other people that support Wilder understood. See, you can't sit up here and say one fight with Alexander Usyk is the best opposition. I understand, those over in the UK, some of them, it's definitely going to be a bit biased. I understand that. I'm not even tripping, so to speak. But all I'm saying is he asked a loaded question as if Usyk was the best he ever fought. And look, it'd be bollocks. It'd be absolute rubbish to think that Tyson Fury would say, yeah, after experiencing all those knockdowns with Wilder, that Usyk, the little adversity, the little window of adversity that Tyson Fury experienced is the same puncher as Wilder. That's not even close. Usyk's not the same puncher as Wilder, but I like Usyk. I like Usyk, man. I have no problems with Usyk. Good guy. He did hell of a freaking achievements in the sport of boxing. Two division undisputed. But when you talk about Fury, I was absolutely impressed that he finally came out and admitted that Deontay Wilder was his best opposition. If you didn't see it, let me remind you. Okay, it's a day close to the Halloween. Let me give you some scary footage.
He's pretty good though, right? Yeah, he's a good boxer. Best you faced? No, not nowhere near. No. I think the fights were wilder when you bounced off the canvas 2 and 3 times and 10 knockdowns, and at any given moment you can be took out, is a lot more dangerous than having a boxing match with this guy.
A lot more dangerous, man. A lot more dangerous, man. You understand? You know what I mean? A lot more dangerous. Any fighter would understand. Anyone from the outside like myself will understand that what I witnessed was quite brutal. But here, Tyson Fury let the public be known that those multiple knockdowns was absolutely brutal. Let's clap it up for Fury. Let's clap it up for Fury. Fury, you know what I'm saying? They say the sun shines but today, you know, the sun is not out over here, but when I seen this, it was shining a bit. I commend you for, you know, finally providing recognition. I knew it. I knew you had it in you that you had. I'm glad you didn't do this when you retired. Seriously, I'm glad you just didn't follow and let people know that you was a sheep. You showed what a lot of people know, that you do your own thing. You're a gypsy. When that interviewer asked that loaded question, he's the best you ever faced, right? He's up here trying to ask you a rhetorical question, and Fury goddamn shut that down. If you didn't hear it, let me play it again.
He's pretty good though, right? Yeah, he's a good boxer. Best you faced? No, not.
The best you face? No. And let me say it again. The best you face? No. What do you mean? No. It's the best you ever face. Come on, mate. You know it's the truth. No. Getting off the canvas 8, 9 times against one of the hardest hitters in the sport of boxing, heavyweight. He was an absolute killer. And I hear people out here, 43 victories, 42 knockouts, and they say to themselves, oh, that's nothing. He fought nobody. Well, he fought me. And I'm going to be honest with you. That right hand is something dangerous, lethal. Fury put it out there. Deontay Wilder's right hand is official. And his right hand been official for a long time, ever since he was born. Ever since my boy Dion said, well, you know, Deontay Wilder was slapping the taste out of goddamn kid's mouth when we was in school. So the right hand has always had a fuse to it before boxing. I heard Deontay Wilder was driving like a Budweiser truck or something like that. He was delivering. No telling how many dogs, because you know when you're delivering shit, them dogs come out of places and stuff. And no matter how many K9s, we don't know how many K9s, you know, Deontay freaking knocked out before he even became a professional boxer. Can you imagine? Got goddamn 2 dogs running up the Wilder, and people ran the other way, and the dogs are Wilder done slap both of them motherfuckers, dog. Shit. Damn. I get it, man. Let me get to the chat. I get it, bro. Shout out to the OG Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and more, man. What's good with it, man? I hope everyone in the chat had a blessed day for sure, man. Same to you, man. Same to you. Blunt said, I saw a picture of Max at the weigh-in. It was described as if Devin Haney were to go up to 147 and come back down to 135 to fight Tank. He looked very bad. It's basically what was said. Well, look, Max Holloway has always looked a little different in his ways, and then went in there and performed for 5 rounds. Heavy. I'm talking about full speed on the gas, no problem. When you have fighters that look that way, but yet they rehydrate properly. I'm gonna give you a perfect example, Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia looked like shit against Robert Easter when he weighed in at 135. And you know, Mikey was never known for having any type of muscular definition in that tater tot, soggy tater tot looking damn physical anatomy that he has. But when he rehydrated, he still went in there and beat Robert Easter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's one of the worst. Like, you look at that Mikey Garcia, Robert Easter, when they face to the front, Mike Garcia looked bad. Devin Haney in the first, George Kambosos looked bad. You know, so only thing he did was go up to 55. People have to understand, in mixed martial arts, they have a division of 155, which is lightweight. And then, look, you take 155 and the next division up is 170. You got to really contemplate, do I really want to goddamn go from 155 to 170? Look at boxing, 130, 35, 40, 47. You know what I'm saying? We start with the 7 increment. Imagine getting in a career, right? And you have flyweight, featherweight. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you have flyweight. No. Let me back up. Flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight. Let's just start with those 2 low divisions. They don't have no minimum weight and junior flyweight and all that. They have flyweight 125, bantamweight 135, featherweight 145, and lightweight 155. Those are the 4 smaller divisions that you have to be in. If you go from 155 to the next division, which is welterweight, is 170. 155 to 170. So it's not like Max has made the jump over that motherfucking pier and say, I'm going from 55 to 70. So him dropping from 55 back down to 45 where he was champion, nah. I mean, we got to look at it like this, Blunts. People do get, fighters do get old in front of us. Every weight cut is not the same. So he might have looked a certain way, you know what I'm saying, to the viewing audience. You know, he might have looked a little done, but he looked good in the cage before he got knocked out. And it wasn't because he wasn't putting out. I'm about to get the goddamn Catterall and Progress. You know I'm getting to that. But I heard this Poirier guy is really that guy from Spain. They say he's the truth. Poirier is the truth. His brother has yet to come into the business yet, but his brother can get down too. So, you know, like anything else, you have a changing, you have a transition of talent that's in full rotation with mixed martial arts. I mean, in my opinion, they have more in rotation that people don't know about. You know, that they end up making a name and get airtime than boxing, in my opinion. I'm just saying they have so many fighters. I wouldn't say black fighters. For some reason, black fighters really don't join mixed martial arts like that. And there's not a lot of black grapplers out there. Because in order for you to be a grappler in general, you have to spend ample amount of time on the mat. You have to get grinded on by your sparring partner. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. You have to work on technique with a sparring partner on the mat. And that is physical contact. As close as you're going to get to somebody is intimate physical contact of training. It's tough. Arnold Brown on deck. What's good? What's good? Yeah, Bomb Squad, man. You know what I'm saying? In case people, you know, forgot, you know, about who I'm talking about and Tyson Fury, I'll let you hear it one more again.
Bomb Squad!
Just to wake you up a little bit for those of you that was sleeping on a Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Those of you that might have been sleeping, you know what I'm saying? I had to wake your ass up a little bit. I'll never forget when Wilder said, you got to be perfect with 12 rounds. I got to be perfect for 1 second. That's some crazy shit. Yeah. And finally, you know what I'm saying? Fury has already been on record and made that and said what you just said. He reiterated that also. And to hear him finally come out and give flowers to Deontay being his best opponent, his toughest opponent. He said, getting off the canvas. To all these MF and haters who want to talk about technique as to why they was hating on Wilder, but Bud has technique and you hate on them. So you don't know shit about boxing, but you know shit about hating. DK S A H. Okay? Do know shit about hating. That's what that is. Do know shit about hating. Heavyweight division ain't no joke. That power is real. Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Blunts for sure, man. Like, I mean, come on. How many times we've seen heavyweights up here with crazy styles? Look at George Foreman. I think George Foreman's style was worse than what they say about Wilder's. George Foreman had power too, but he was a slugaboo. George Foreman was a slugaboo, man. He had all that. It was just like he was chopping down trees and shit with them punches. Get hit. How many times Michael Moore lit him up? How much adversity he had to go through before he get that knockout? And they want to, I mean, hey, the new era of boxing fans is crazy, yo. Crazy. Let's talk about Regis Prograis and Jack Catterall. Shout out to both fighters, first of all. As that fight was going on and I watched Regis Prograis moving all around, that takes up energy. But he did look better than what he was, his display when he fought Devin Haney. He did. I will commend you and salute you for that, Regis. I was saying early on, I said, God damn it, let's go, Regis. Put on that Rougarou. Come on. Transform into Rougarou. Put the mask on. Put the mask on. I need to see mask on, not mask off. I need to see mask on, Regis. And he was looking good early on, man. It was a close fight. But I had to say that Jack Catterall, he was on the ASICs, pound for pound. He was ASICs. Jack Catterall had them ASICs, them fresh pair of ASICs on. And I was saying, I wonder if the boxing public is going to criticize Jack Catterall for freaking being in retreat the first half of the fight. And Regis up there, you know, he was putting that touch jab out there, right? But a lot of them wasn't landing. But I wonder what the people are going to give Regis credit like they gave Beterbiev. Because he was damn near chasing Catterall down. Catterall one time literally turned around in retreat. And you can see the bottom of them ASICs, dog. Catterall with ASIC in that motherfucker in the first half of the fight. I guess he called himself stalling Regis out. And then he started to turn it on. You know, he suffered a knockdown. You know, Regis landed the right hand that hit Catterall on the right side of his, you know, deltoid. And his glove touched the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Damn near like Sean Porter. Errol Spence Jr. in the 11th round. Sean Porter, right glove touched the canvas. Jack Catterall, right glove touched the canvas, barely. But it was considered a knockdown. So I'm saying to myself, God damn, Regis look, he's performing way better than, you know, Devin Haney fight. I had to have a moment, y'all. I said, should I commit? Should I commit to saying that Regis might shock the? Should I say it? I said, no. I'm a goddamn keep it in the holster. I can't do it. I can't do it, Regis. I can't do it. And sure enough, Catterall started to pour it on. You know what I'm saying? Regis with all that movement back and forth. I don't want to put his age in there, but he was looking really sharp early on with his cardio, and he was chasing goddamn Jackrabbit Catterall around the ring. ASIC out. That mo was high off that ASIC. Real talk. And then Jack in the 6 started to get right. The 7. And then, you know, Regis couldn't really, you know, take back the momentum after that. You know, Catterall was going to that overhand left too many times. Regis did make adjustments. with his distance, and he started to avoid that left hand for a couple of rounds. But Catterall started to land some good combinations on Regis, and then the combination of 1-2 that dropped Regis, it was clean than a Sunday caddy. God damn it! You know that caddy you only put out on Sunday. Well, y'all youngins don't know nothing about that. But I mean that shot was clean. That left hand was clean off Regis' chin. I'm talking about Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. I mean, that motherfucker was shining. And I thought I even saw a sparkle when Jack Catterall landed that damn left. Bing. Thank you. I said, God damn, Regis. Okay, it's just one knockdown. One knockdown. And Regis kept on like getting close, but he you know, it seems like something started going on with his leg. You know, he had a knee problem. He slid on the freaking print of the canvas or something. Now his mobility was compromised. I said, God damn. I really wanted this fight to close out, both fighters leaving it all in the ring, as they call it. And Regis, you know, coming back. I thought Regis was really waiting till the 11th and 12th round to turn it back on. But when he started showing those showing that compromised right knee, I said, God damn, that's the wrong leg to be compromised when you're southpaw, God damn it. And look, both him and Catterall was heavy on the lead leg the whole fight. I mean, both of them was leaning in pretty heavy. And then Catterall started dialing in his timing on Regis. And when he knocked him down the second time, whoo, I say he got it. Tick-tock. Regis is on the motherfucking clock. 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, his recovery was on point to me. His strength and conditioning coach did a pretty decent job, but it just seems like, man, I don't know how long his leg was compromised. I'm not here to hallmark any excuses for Regis. I just felt like it seemed to me he still had pretty good cardio, but his leg was compromised, and Jack Catterall was full steam ahead after that. But I will have to say this: he was ASIC'd. You know, Catterall was ASIC tonight. I mean, Catterall, in my opinion, was damn near him and Jermell Charlo was neck and neck in a 12-round sprint. They was neck and neck in the first half of the fight. Me and Catterall settled down, and he really started landing some solid punches on Regis. But the first half of the fight, him and Jermell Charlo was neck and neck. I mean, Catterall was on the motherfucking bike, yo. I was saying to myself, Lance Armstrong don't have a motherfucking thing on Jack Rabbit Catterall. I said, this nigga's just running all around the ring. Fight. You and him both have a common opponent, Josh Taylor. People said, Catterall, you really beat Josh Taylor. You didn't get the decision. So that he going out there all hope. People saying, you know, he should have won that fight. He should have won that fight. And I thought he beat Josh Taylor too. And then, look, both of them had the same epiphany, so to speak. People thought Regis beat Josh Taylor when they fought the World Boxing Series. And then some people thought Josh Taylor won. So they had one of those moments, right? But to finally meet, you know what I'm saying? And especially Regis coming off a very underwhelming performance against Devin Haney, lopsided. You know what I'm saying? Just like a fat girl on a seesaw. It was very, very one-sided. So to see him go ahead and perform the way he did with Catterall and then get the knockdown early, I say, shit, he can only get, you know, improve from now. Nope. And did you see, like I seen y'all, when Catterall ended up earning the first knockdown of Regis, did you see Catterall's corner up on the what the hell they doing over there in Abu Dhabi? Like, I mean, wherever they was at, what were they doing over there, yo? One of his team members was up on the apron. giving Catterall instructions while the referee was counting Regis. You ever seen some shit like that in the US? I mean, goddamn. And then another thing I seen is that the corners are very close to the ring, like right there, just like the UFC. They have the outside the cage is different though, different setup than the ring. Their team actually sits, whoever's the chief second or whatever, they're right there on the outside of the cage, right? And usually in boxing, they have the chairs, the stools set out a little ways out from the apron. I don't know how many feet, but it's a ways out from the steps. When Catterall earned that knockdown of Regis, the first one, man, the old boy was up on the ring apron, bro, standing up in the corner, coaching freaking Catterall. I said, what the fuck? I'm watching, dog. Talk to Eclipse 330. What's good with it, Square? How you feeling, man? I see you in the building. Regis had them damn on and damn near broke his ankles. Well, I could tell you, it seems like I don't want to make fun of Regis, but when he got damn stumble, when he threw that damn overhand, he went down to the canvas and he was over there, looked like he was a sleeping baby. I say, damn, Regis in pain. And that's one thing I can give you a salute, Regis. You ain't no motherfucking quitter. Regis showed heart. Like when he was balled up like that, damn near in a fetal position on his knees, that motherfucker was hurt. He just wanted to wait till that shit get down a little bit before he stood up. Regis, hey, he finished it out. He had a good poker face. But when he balled up like that, when he threw that power shot and missed and laid down like that, and he stayed there for a minute, man, he was like, okay, let me get my poker face together. Something was compromised with his knee. It could have been something in training, and it could have been something that happened in the ring. But when I seen it happen in the ring, it's almost like it was a mobility issue for him sliding on the print of the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. But shout out to them. And that's his second straight loss, man. The one thing about Regis, when it comes to his record, we can say this, that he only has 3 losses. So, at the end of the day, he still have a little bit more Wall Street left. And that was for the WBO International Super Light vacant. Okay. So that was once again, WBO International Super Light vacant. But the card itself was decent, like when it comes to the US fan base, we've been keeping an eye on Campbell Hatton. You know what I'm saying? Campbell Hatton is on a 2-fight losing streak now to the same guy, yo. I didn't want to bring him up, but I had to. Because I still go back to that check left hook Floyd landed on his papa. And he went face first into the turnbuckle and fell back. And he heard the referee serenading. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Are you there, Ricky? You good? Hey, look. It's hard following in your papa's footsteps. But this was Campbell Hatton's second fight with this guy, James Flint. You always got to be careful about them dudes with the last name Flint. You know what I'm saying? Flint is smoke, spark. You know what I'm saying? The preamble. This dude was James Flint. It reminded me of a cowboy. You know what I'm saying? An outlaw. James, my name is James Flint. I'm from the south of the Mississippi. I was sent over here looking for Duke Earl. James Flint, yo, has a record of 15-2-2. All right. He lost his fight before Campbell Hatton, right? He lost his fight before Campbell Hatton. Then, after Campbell Hatton, he earned the unanimous decision 10 rounder. And then he lost the fight with Cal Board, right? James Flint had 3 fights this year, yo. 3 fights. 2 of those fights was Campbell Hatton, and he had a loss in between his rematch of Campbell Hatton. So Campbell Hatton took another loss. I'm looking at that, and I was like, Jesus, I wonder what his dad had to say. They had so much hope for Hatton. He looks just like his pops, man. But it's tough. He's only 23. It's tough being in them shoes, man. It's tough, dog. But one thing I can say about, the Hattons, they wasn't worried about taking a loss. After they took that first loss against James Flint, they scheduled a rematch. I respect that because, like I said before, a lot of fighters don't rematch one another. They take a loss and they move on. They sitting up here talking about, I don't want to face him, but not Campbell. Campbell Hatton went in there and faced James Flint again, bro, and he lost again. Let me read you the scorecards. The first time they went in there and fought, the scorecards read 97-95, 97-94, and 98-92, all in favor of James Flint, that outlaw. And then James will have one fight after that. He had that first fight with Hatton, March 2024 this year. Fought Cal in June, lost, then came back and fought freaking Hatton. You want to read the scorecards again? 97-94, 96-95, 96-94. And the one thing about it, both of these is UK Brit fighters. So it wasn't like he was facing a US fighter or someone from somewhere else, home cooking. It wasn't none of that. Hadn't just have to get it together. It's tough being in your pop's footstep. It is, bro. Man, hey, shout out to the youngin' though. Shout out to James Mother effing Flint, goddammit, the outlaw. He has Campbell Hatton twice in the win column on his BoxRec. Twice, y'all. He got the scalp. You know how they used to say back in the day? He got the scalp. He got Campbell Hatton's scalp twice already. Twice, man. Who approved of that? I'm pretty sure his pop said, hey, son, the only way you're going to get this out your conscience if you go back in there and face that. You can't let an outlaw come over here. It's in your backyard. You got to goddamn go back in there, Campbell. You got to get back in there. You got to fight those demons, Campbell. And that's what happened. Now he has 2 losses back to back because somebody recommended for him to go back in there and fight this dude, James Flint, and James MF and Flint at that. And they felt it was easy because Flint was coming off a loss. I want to know if his pops, told him that or what. But hey, this man fought 3 times in 2024, and 2 of those, 2 out of the 3, he has 2 wins off Campbell Hatton, whose dad is Ricky Hatton. All I got to say to those of you that's listening, whenever you run into a dude, their last name Flint, you better check their shoes and see if they got some spurs on that motherfucker. You better check they goddamn them holsters and see if they got them pancake holsters on their hips. Because 9 times out of 10, they got them revolvers on it, so they won't leave no shell casings. You get it. You get where I'm coming from. Don't go fucking with no dudes in a scrap named James Flint. And if you need anybody to tell you, you might want to call up Campbell Hatton and say, hey, it's this dude down here in Georgia. I want to know if you know who he is. His name is James Flint. I'm not trying to be. Hey, I never was a Campbell Haddon. I mean, he wasn't growing on me at all. I just always look at these guys who has papas that did very well in professional sports. It's tough, man, to basically mirror or equal the genetic code of a great, which happened to be your mother or father. It's crucial, yo. It's crucial. I wonder how he's gonna recover, man, coming off that loss. Even his daddy, Ricky Hatton, couldn't get him the decision today. His daddy couldn't even get him the decision today. That's crazy. Regis had them damn. Okay, I read that. Regis say he's going to bare knuckle. He's done with this shit. Okay, let's get something straight. Okay, I'm glad Blunt's. I'm glad Blunt's mentioned this, right? Let's talk about, because I covered bare knuckle fighting too in person, right? Down in Florida and a couple other, right? What I've seen is former mixed martial artists and boxers go over there. Shout out to Austin Trout. Shout out to Austin Trout. God damn it, Austin Trout. He did what he did in boxing. But when I tell you he went over the bare knuckle fighting and that mug looked slick, like he had Catterall. Goddamn 40 weight. Man, his boxing skills, I'm like, damn. Like, I always looked at Austin Trout as being a studious, polite, very very much inclined with the etiquette when you see him on camera when he's talking and all that. But goddamn, he went over to bare knuckle fighting and did his thing. And then I've seen Chad Mendez go over there. I've seen Jeremy Stevens. Man, I've seen so many people transition from mixed martial arts and boxing. Now, the name in question is now Regis Prograis say he wants to go over there. Now, Regis is a former two-time champion, and you saying to yourself, it ain't no way. The way them dudes be looking, man, it's Halloween every time they motherfucking fight, dog. Nah, I mean, shit, man. They talking about getting cut up like that, man. They might as well just send them straight from the goddamn ring into the goddamn hunting house. Don't even stitch up the motherfucking cuts. Because I'm telling you, they only have 5 rounds, 2 minutes apiece. Okay, that's BKFC. That's bare knuckle fighting. It's look, the round doesn't need to be any longer than 2 minutes because it can get brutal. Shout out to Taylor Starling. Salute to you. You have made leaps and bounds. She was never a world champion in boxing, but she ended up making her way over the bare knuckle fighting, and has she had her pluses and minuses, but she's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? She's a big deal, man. I covered her on the regional level when she was trying to come up as a boxer. Salute to you. But anyway, back to Regis. Regis going over the bare knuckle fighting is not a bad deal. Real talk, because Conor McGregor's now partner on over there with David Feldman. All right. So being the fact that I've witnessed these fights up close, it's a brutal sport. Bare knuckle fighting is brutal than boxing, in my opinion, because for one, you have your hands wrapped up into an inch from the knuckle properties, half an inch from the knuckle properties, something like that, and you have no covering over your knuckles. Now, listen, some of these fights you cut early. Regis going over there to fight, I'm not sure what weight class he's going to fight in, but you do have some of those guys that's over there in mixed martial arts. They used to fighting with 4-ounce gloves. They used to fighting with damn near nothing on their hand. So to go over there and fight bare knuckle, you have to get used to feeling those knuckles landing on your face now. It's different. Them guys cut easy, and they're not talking about no little cut. I want to put a butterfly band-aid on. No, this shit, them cuts are something that you're going to see for the rest of your life. So if he's done with boxing and he want to go over the bare knuckle and get a check, he can do that. How long he will last, or if he's going to become world champion, is a whole nother deal. But he's a 2-time world champion. He's going to get a nice little check. I don't know if it's going to be what he's making in boxing, but he's going to get a pretty decent check. You know, it seems like bare knuckle fighting is a blessing for these fighters who can no longer compete at the highest tier at these promotions, like, you know what I'm saying, all these boxing promotions and then mixed martial arts, right? They can go over to bare knuckle fighting. And look, bare knuckle will welcome you. They will say, okay, come over here. We're trying to build up our roster anyway. Let's go. But it's no protection of your hands. So you definitely have to be extremely strategic in how your punch placement is. It don't matter if you're a boxer. You go over here to some of these guys who's very crafty. Shout out to Lorenzo Hunt. I was able to cover him before he even had one bare knuckle fight. And the Juggernaut is a 2-division world champion, a legend in the sport now. I got receipts. I covered them with open workouts when they was trying to select fighters at open workouts to be a part of bare knuckle fighting. Yeah, I was out there in them streets, man. I was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I seen a lot of these cats. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the only content creators, you know, got an interview with Julian Lane, the one that was in the Ultimate Fighter. The one that said, "Let me bang, man." That's absolutely crazy. He's a good dude in person, but when he turned it on to go in there and fight, he's legit. He'll whoop your motherfucking ass on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Bare knuckle fighting is where it's at for these boxers and mixed martial artists, kickboxers, and they want to go in there and throw hands with no gloves on. But you definitely have to practice. You have to basically remediate where to land these punches. And it's not easy. Regis going over there, how he would do, I don't fucking know. But let me say this. When you all criticize the fighters like Tank for requesting more money, you have to look at fighters leaving boxing to go elsewhere to fight in a sport that's going to cause them possibly more damage to their face. Look, I'm not saying Regis can't handle it. All I'm saying is he has to go home to family. I'm not saying he can't handle the freaking punishment over there, but he has to go back to family. He has to go through a period just like boxing where he's going through a healing and the blood come to the circles of swelling and all that, and then it subsides and all. He has to go there, but it's going to look quite different in bare knuckle than it did in boxing, because depending on what division you was in, I'm just dropping the technicals, right? The gloves was there to protect your hands. You have no more protection for your hands. And also, without that protection, you're going to cut easier when those punches are landed. That's all I'm saying. And you're going to cut a lot easier. Now, back on what I was saying about Tank demanding his money. When you hear Regis going over there and say he's going to bare knuckle, I don't see Tank being that guy that's saying, I'm going over here after boxing to compete in bare knuckle. Tank has recently been on record as responding to Michael Benson. Michael Benson put out a tweet that a lot of people have been jumping up and down. Even myself, you know, shout out to D Block. Did a active live on Spaces the other night. Appreciate everyone who pulled up to D Block Spaces. But check this out though. That was one of the pieces of information that's been floating around out here in the media airwaves. You know what I'm saying? With a strong current too. It says Michael Benson said Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach reportedly could now be moved to share a show with David Benavidez versus David Morrell on January 25th in Las Vegas, according to Boxing Scene. Gervonta responded with 3 simple syllables, letters, 1 vowel. Cap. Gervonta said it was cap. AKA El Chin Checker said it was cap, y'all. How many times do you hear WCS get on here and say, well, you know, the hocus pocus of boxing media is incredible? I mean, I swear to God, like, we screenshot these cats all the time. The Bensons, the Idicks, the Raphaels. We screenshot them all the time. But Gervonta said it was cap. He says cap. Who are we to believe in this boxing media? Does anybody have the juice? It seems like we're giving the juice to people who sometimes or another drop information. And when they're wrong with the information, just like Floyd had checked Coppinger, I believe, back in the day about that freaking look. He checked him on Spence and Crawford, but ultimately Floyd didn't even announce the fight at the end of the day. But he checked him and said, "Hey, don't do that. Don't release that. If it's released, I'm gonna do it." Y'all remember that shit? So they have their strikeouts too, but nobody hold them accountable like they do people in the YTC. Now I ain't gonna lie to you. It's some motherfuckers on here that's addicted to clickbait. I mean, that's a hell of a drug, goddammit. That clickbaiting shit, that's the goddamn YTC crack cocaine right there. People just say, "Oh man, I don't give a fuck about what nobody's saying, man. I'm gonna goddamn get this shit out here, dog. I gotta get this shit out here, man. Put another thumbnail up here, man. I don't give a fuck what they talk about. I gotta get the clicks. Give me the clicks and the views, goddammit. I gotta feel that hit. I need the clicks and the views." Benson has been refuted by Tank Davis, who say that shit ain't true. Now, I have commented in response to would I like to see this fight? You know, on David Benavidez, I look at it like this, like, you know, his opponent's supposed to be Lamont Roach, but you know, where the fight is taking place is just beneficial to the fighters. Now, this is what I put out there, right? People need to understand that if they're going to talk about Tank doing big numbers somewhere else, like in DC, you have to understand he was with a different network was with PBC back then. You have to now register your mind to understand that Prime, register your mind that PBC is now locked in with Prime, who does not give them an annual budget. 2024, you have a lot of people on here that's trying their damnness to ignore the slow start. PBC has put on some incredible fights this year and just awesome. It hasn't been like 23. It wasn't like 22. We understand there's some changes that has been taking place internal to the organization. Why? Due to that Omaha Monster. That Omaha Monster, July 29th. Him getting him out of there and the way he did Spence, goddamn Showtime fired up the PJ. Showtime, you're clear for takeoff. Showtime, you're clear for takeoff. Over. Roger that. Roger that. We're on the tarmac. Showtime spread their wings and they gone. Now you look at Prime and you have people on here, yay, PBC with Prime. I'm not wishing no ill on PBC. PBC ain't never did shit back to me. It's just that one bitch that's over there. That's all. That mutt duck. PBC ain't did shit to me. I want PBC to do what they do. But at the end of the day, they're not getting the annual budget like they was getting with Showtime. 128 million. Fox was giving them like 65, 70 million when they was locked in. So for Tank Davis to negotiate more money and to them attempting to give him lower than what he made with Frank Martin. No. You have to put your foot down. You have to stand your ground. Sooner or later, you have to stand your ground. And those of you that's feeling some type of way about Tank standing his ground, you're the one with the water hose in your motherfucking hand, watering that bitch, hoping to turn to quicksand. You ain't trying to rock with the dude. You up here saying he don't deserve. You up here sound like an old R&B singer. He don't deserve you anymore. No. He don't deserve you anymore. Clap it up one time. Scotty and the keynotes. Y'all up there watering the motherfucking ground. He should goddamn 29 years of age, 3 divisions in the game. I would advise a fighter to pretty much negotiate their worth. Stand their MF and ground, because you have to do it one way or another. Tank is too talented to be on the shelf. Y'all can say what y'all want. I don't really care. Tank is too talented to be on the shelf. They're not putting Tank on the shelf like they did other fighters. They're not going to do it. I commend Team Davis for standing up and not taking that low ball off. They ain't low balling Canelo like that. Yeah, I'm going to throw Canelo name in here because they ain't low balling him like that. Everybody else on Canelo's card is going to reap the concussions. When Canelo want the money, everybody else is going to get crumbs. They're not even allowed to sit at this table. They're sitting on the floor. And then when Canelo finish eating, Canelo going to take his hand and put his hand all the way at the other end of the table and do a full wipe across the table and sweep those crumbs on the motherfucking floor. And they say, "Te gusto la comida. La comida. See? Gracias. Eat la comida." He going to tell them to eat the crumbs that he just wiped off the table. Canelo's going to get the entrees. They're willing to give Canelo the entrees, y'all. And everybody else get the crumbs. So why shouldn't Tank Davis negotiate for higher pay, even with Lamont Roach? Man, forget all that other shit, man. Stand your ground, goddammit. Get your money. Why should the biggest name over at PBC, once again, why should the biggest name at PBC have to take less just because Errol Spencer's no longer in the equation and Canelo Alvarez has become the donor? They give Canelo everything. Mr. Alvarez, we'd like to donate $40 million. Yeah, we want you to fight Abner Yildirim again. Yeah, I know it seems a little shaky, but we got the money. We have the funding. Oh, the investors are happy. We're going to have it over in Mexico. Yeah, just for you, Nello. I mean, Mr. Alvarez, sir. Yeah. They give Canelo everything he asked for. If Canelo asked for $50 million and his own star out the galaxy, they would try their damnedest to go up there and get that motherfucker. They would try their damnedest to do that shit, y'all. Even if it leads to people losing their lives. Canelo, I want that star. That's all I'm missing on my mansion. I want that star right there. If you can't give me that star, I can't go to the ring. Yeah, I need that star. Somebody need to go up there and grab a star. No, not the star out of party favors or online in Amazon Prime. No, I want a star from the galaxy, preferably at the Milky Way. If I can get a star at the Milky Way, I'll never go broke again. I need that star. They'll try their damnedest to go get Canelo that star. But Tank needs that funding. Y'all doing one of the second. Is nobody else that coming. Look, you can say what you want. Ryan Garcia made his highest payday with Tank Davis. When people hear Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, no one's sitting up here believing that Ryan Garcia is going to go in there and beat Tank. Right? So y'all can sit up here and try to jettison the fact on how good Tank and how talented Tank is, but he's the next behind Canelo when it comes to pay-per-view. Yeah, people want to say, oh, he ain't did. Now he has. Stop bullshitting yourself, yo. Stop bullshitting yourself. People want to see Tank get in the ring because he has that moment. He has the element of surprise, goddammit. That's what he has. He has the ammunition. He has that. People be sitting on the edge of their seat. See, sitting on the edge of your seat for Tank is different than sitting on the edge of your seat for Spence. Seriously. See, they were sitting on the edge of their seat for Spence because they didn't quite know how the fight was going to turn up. But every time Tank steps through the ropes, they sit on the edge of their feet because it's coming. It's about. It might have. Oh, it didn't happen this round. Woo, that was close. We thought he was going to goddamn knock their ass out. It's something's coming. Only 2 fighters have made it to distance with Tank. So you have to look at the other 28. They have not. So he still has that it factor when it comes to pay-per-view. Regardless of what the haters saying on the YTC, hey, newsflash to the haters out here in the septic tank of boxing media. Y'all not even 1% of the population of human beings on earth. You feel like you empowered because you're able to frequent the YTC, the YouTube community. I was one of the advocates, one of the only advocates to shut down the YTBC when they try to have that shit. Yeah, they ain't gonna tell you, but I shut that shit down. YouTube boxing community ain't no such thing. That's not even a mystery. That's not even a folklore. They try to say, oh, the YouTube boxing community. I love it. It's no community over here when it comes to boxing. Because everybody on some different shit. You know what I'm saying? One minute they like this boxer, that boxer lose, they abandon, abort mission, go to this boxer. There's no boxing community. It's an adoption agency. There's no boxing community over here. They always want to adopt the fighter. And the fighter's kicking and screaming. Don't adopt me. I'm going to stay at the orphanage. I'm doing just fine. I don't need to be over there. No, I ain't signing no paperwork. Fuck that. I remember what you said about me, a couple of years back. You didn't even really fuck with me like that. But now you want to adopt me as your favorite fighter? No, get the hell out of here. I don't want to, Now y'all, some of y'all turning your back on Tank. When it's up to him to negotiate because he don't plan on being in the game that long. He said that. So it's good for him to make as many millions as possible because the fans are going to, no, they try to criticize who he fought, but they're going to ask. They're going to put those requests in. We want to see him fight this fighter. If that fight is Shakur Stevenson, I'm pretty sure sooner or later that fight is going to happen, y'all. All right? Y'all got to be patient, man. Shout out to the boxing queen, Jessica, in the building. I see you. What's good with you? Hope all is well. Everybody who pulled up, hope everybody's doing great. But I just wanted to drop that tweet on y'all with Gervonta Davis responding to Michael Benson and pretty much calling his cap, saying it's untrue on what he putting out here about Gervonta and Lamont Rhodes sharing a card with David Benavidez and Dave Morrell. Let me ask you this. Who is going to be the co-main event, goddammit? Somebody tell me that, because I know Tank ain't. Tank is not going to be no co-main event to David Benavidez. Are you out your MFing mind? He's not going to be. Look, he's not going to be. Come on, man. Even Lamont Roach has did more than Morrell. Morrell has won a WBA, right? I mean, look. They hype it up when Morrell do it, but when Tank do it, oh my God, it's trash. When goddamn Dave Morrell name come up, hey, David's been 2-division champion. He has the WBA Reggie belt at 168 and 175. You can't take that away from him. What about Tank? Oh, Tank only has one title, 130. Man, nobody was looking at that fight with Gamboa. It was barely anybody in the damn arena. That's cap. I was there. Fought down here in the A, and it was packed out. And also he's a 3-division. Oh, man, here we go. Talking about Barrios again. No, let's talk about Barrios because Barrios invited a champion from a lower division, just like Tank is doing Roach. Right? But like I say, y'all not knocking down Barrios, El Azteca, and trying to breach his perimeter and protest. Because he did the exact same thing. If y'all saying Tank with the WBA Reggie belt, as y'all call it, right? and he hadn't fought nobody, right? And Lamont Roach is not anything of importance to y'all, not even priority. Why didn't y'all give Mario Barrios the same criticism, the same resistance? Because the same guy that you're criticizing in Tank, Mario Barrios invited him up to 140 to fight him. Much taller fighter, had the reach advantage, all that shit. At a higher division, a heavier division, 140. And he contracted to fight Tank, which is the more smaller fighter, more shorter reach. The disadvantage, right? Yeah, I didn't see y'all protesting that. But y'all been over here goddamn making the company of Kleenex rich, blowing motherfucking snot bubbles using a whole box of tissue, crying. To my, oh man, Shakur just came off hand surgery. Did y'all not get the news? He's back in the gym training now, but did y'all not get the news? The man had an injury. You know, sometimes I'll be behind off the screen and I feel like people not really understand when I speak English. So I'll be up here signing. I use ASL. And then I realized, I said, shit, there ain't no way they're going to be able to understand that either because I'm off screen. I'm up here signing and shit. I've been signing for 30 minutes straight. And I said, God damn it. I forgot I didn't have the camera on. Man, y'all need to chill, yo. Regis say he going to bare knuckle, man. Good luck to you, big dog. Real talk. Good luck to Regis Progress going over there. But Tank, do what you got to do. We'll see how that shit play out with you know, upcoming months. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, how do y'all think Gervonta Davis will ever share a card with David Benavidez? Benavidez has dropped his title twice at 168. He has yet to win a title at 175 because they're tied up in Beterbiev's camp, right? And we're getting word that Beterbiev and Bivol would definitely revisit a part 2 for the undisputed titles. That's what I'm hearing. Now the hocus pocus might come and do what they do, right? So that means Benavidez won't be fighting for a title in January. Okay. So then you have to ask yourself about Morrell. Lamont Roach has a title, but Morrell has 2 WBA Reggie titles. And the most, the most potent hypocrisy that these cats are sipping from is that they'll sit up here and boost up David Morrell. Listen to me now. While I'm dropping you and cooking y'all ass in this hot grease, they'll sit up here and praise the shit out of Morrell for 2 divisions with a Reggie title when Tank has it at 135 and 140. And they'll sit up here with less experience and say, oh, Morrell, we want to see him fight David Benavidez. We want to see him do this. But I'm saying, damn, y'all discount Tank's 2 division. He was elevated at 135. But before that, y'all saying, oh, man, he ain't got no belts. He ain't did shit at 135 or 140. But when Dave Morrell name come up, because he's not Black American or something, they would say, oh, man, he's ready. He's ready, y'all. Ready to fight who? David Benavidez. He's a 2-division champion, dude. For real? So what you're telling me is he get an exemption letter for the criticism. With those fights he has, you know what I'm saying? Vice Tank sitting at 30-0. You're trying to say with the lack of experience he has and with 2 Reggie belts, it's something different than what Tank has in 3 divisions? Well, man, well, nobody looking for Gamboa. Well, who on his resume that you're going to jump up for joy? Man, y'all need to stop that shit, bro. I just had the grease pop sometime when you don't have a lid on that bitch. But I'm just saying, like, they praise the shit out of Dave Morrell for 2 Reggie titles. But when it comes to Tank, they say the only division he got a world title at was 130. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm talking about before he was elevated at 135. They said he ain't had no title except at 130. Not the title he was elevated to at 135. But yet, Mario Barrios did the same thing that Tank is doing right now. And other fighters have done. Errol Spence, he accepted Mikey Garcia from 135. And then they'll tell you he fought Sergey Lipinets. Well, he didn't fight him last. He fought Robert Easter last before he moved up with Errol Spence. So wasn't nobody criticizing Spence, but they criticized Tank, right? Right? You see how that shit goes? Y'all pick and choose how you want to maneuver through the biased avenues. All I gotta say is just pull over, chill, grab your soda or something. Think about the bullshit you on here talking. Think about that. Those of you that think that Tank should be on the co-main event to David Benavidez and Morrell. Oh my God. It caused me to chuckle. Excuse me. I didn't mean to chuckle in your face. Y'all saying he should be. The pay-per-view numbers are not even fucking close. How many people knows Morrell comparable to Tank? If you can answer me that, if you're going to try to convince me that Morrell has a larger following than Tank over here in the U.S., then I'll pay for your medical bills. Because right now they need to goddamn give you a brain, head, scalp, skull, ears, nose, mouth, an entire replacement from the shoulder up. You don't deserve to have that shit no more. That the way you thinking, that shit should be put to rest, and they should goddamn bring on a head from a cadaver and goddamn send you about your way if the surgery is successful. I'm sick and tired of people up here, discounting and devaluing American fighters, and then they get the Cuban fighters, the Mexican fighters, and all these the Russian and everybody, and they'll give them all this voluntary love. They just get all warm and cheeky. They'll give them all the praise, but yet the American fighters, they right here in your backyard, oh man, they ain't fought nobody. Tank got 2 divisions with Reggie titles. He ain't earned no real shit. What about Morrell though? You was just bragging about him on some, y'all just bragging. Man, see, he different though. He Cuban. They start going to him, man, he Cuban and everything. Them Cubans, man, come on, man. You want to see David Morrell. He way more exciting than Tank. No, man, we got to start staying on code, bro. Like real talk. Stop giving these neighboring fighters and all that credit before they actually earn it. And then you have to do the comparison. It really doesn't involve mathematics or geometry, trigonometry, anything that deals with scientific and all that equation shit. It takes common sense sometimes. Common sense is if you got a person that's willing to listen to what the hell you're talking about and then regurgitate off recall memory what you said in comparison to an analogy that they're giving, and it may have some type of merit to it, then that's where you should go. It doesn't have to be all technical. Boxing talk only becomes technical when individuals want to push biased ass narratives and make up some bullshit. When they say Tank shouldn't negotiate, he should just take. We heard that before. What if Crawford would have listened to you all? Those of you that was up here reiterating what Mel Charlo said about Crawford. What if Crawford would have listened and sat down, shut up, took less money, surrender to be the challenger? What if he would have listened to that slave talk Jermell Charlo was telling the people without leaving negotiations and then coming back and him and Spence both making a nice paycheck, and also Spence waking up and hiring Adrian Clark from Fighters First Management to basically get him into those numbers that benefited the whole team? What if he would have listened to the bullshit? I mean, one thing I can say about Tank, I don't think him and his team, they're gonna fall for the okie doke and be that stupid to listen to the naysayers. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it. I don't see that shit, yo. It does get funny every now and then how people forget, how they had all this cheering going on for their other fighter. But yet when it comes to fighters like Tank, they'll say resume don't add up. They resume suck. And look, I am one of those individuals, like, I can still coexist with you on this platform and we don't support the same fighters. But the same in return haven't came from me. Like, I would get on this bitch sometime and I'm on different type of TIME. I'm here to rub some vapor rub in your eyelids for the haters. I am. I'm here to cook them in the hot grease, overcook, extra crispy. It will be people that'll get mad at me overemphasizing a point with a fighter of mine that I support heavy and take it fucking personal. This is supposed to be boxing talk. Why would you take it personal as if we ever met in person? That's just a large motherfucking ravine on the YTC. I swear motherfuckers fall down that shit every day. Like, it's always going to be controversy when it comes to people's opinions about what a fighter should and shouldn't do, right? But ultimately, if you're not on the fighter's team and you're just on the outside as an observer, talking about it, discussing it, having a dialogue like myself and what I'm doing, the hottest chat in the MFing game, then you have to be receptive to what people are telling you. You have to decipher and decode what you want to keep and archive and what you want to put in the motherfucking trash bin. When I put stuff in the trash bin in front of your face, you shouldn't get upset about it because it's just boxing talk. A lot of these dudes is on here to hate my guts. I don't even hate them. You know why? I never met them. I never met these cats, dog. Seriously, I don't hate them. I never met them to hate them. Regardless of how personal they try to make it and talk about this, that, and the other, I never met you. It's too much energy for me to hate you because you don't support the same fighters I support. Like, all the rhetoric and hate that I received supporting Wilder, Teofimo Lopez, when I did, Crawford. The hate that I received down here from supporting Jihad Tucker. Look, I will say what I say again. When Bam Rodriguez's name come up and I say, oh man, I'm rocking with Bam, I like Bam. It shouldn't be how many black fighters am I supporting. It just should be, it's boxing. Everybody's going to have their group of selected fighters that they support heavy. And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be anything else than that, right? That's all it should be. You have your selection. I have my selection. If I'm not on here saying, you know what, fuck you, you a bitch at just because you ain't supporting a certain fighter, then there shouldn't be no qualms. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be up here getting belligerent with one another just because I feel the Tank should negotiate his worth on what he believes he's worth in the sport of boxing. He should be able to negotiate all that shit. All of it. Nobody should be up here saying that what that man shouldn't do with his money. Because these are people who they want to pretend like they're hardcore aficionados of the sport. But then they'll get on here and maybe it's in a chat or a panel and they'll sit up here and vocalize that Tank shouldn't get this much money. He shouldn't get that much money. And these are the same people, when they shut down their lives, they have to lay their head down and get up and go to a motherfucking McDonald's and get on the burgers. They have to go to a Walmart warehouse. Some of them have to go outside in the element and they're construction workers. They have to go back to that same motherfucking creek bed they was in and digging up and laying some pipe. Some of them don't have the annual income that some of these fighters have, period. But from the outside looking in, they'll say, hey, that fighter, based off their resume, they don't deserve to make that. And then look, how do we even know? Once again, let me propose this question to y'all. How do we even know what the pay-per-view numbers are? If all because of Dan Raphael, Carpenter, Eidick, Benson, just because they put some numbers out there, any one of them cats, no one knows, because the numbers can't be 200,000 even, 300,000. Come on, man. Look, I figured something out a long time ago about this type of generation, is that they definitely enjoy being served up a batch of lies. They love being injected with that. Do you want a flu shot, or do you want a shot that's gonna put some more lies? There's some lies, and we're gonna inject that, right behind your left ear. It's gonna hurt like a motherfucker. But what would you like? You want your flu shot, or you want some more lies injected in your brain? Just give me the lies. I love it. Give me some lies. Are this gonna be boxing lies? All right, good. I need that because I want to put some more clickbait up. That's all I'm saying, y'all. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's crazy, because you say to yourself, like, why do people keep on trying to say the Tank is not a pay-per-view star, and they want to wash away his numbers, but yet there's no other fighter up here that you can talk that's right behind Canelo that's doing numbers solo on pay-per-view? You can't say it. You can throw the names up there. Hey, Ryan Garcia has a following on IG, and he has 10 plus million followers on IG. But what was his highest payday? What was his high? Just like they mentioned Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia. You trying to tell me it was more black fight fans in Texas than Mexican fight fans? You out your MF in mind. Whenever the argument came to the surface, they say Spence did 350 with Garcia. Like Garcia wasn't the reason that the numbers were what they were. And they always come up with 350. What happened to 350,000, 733 and 16? You know what I'm saying? Why they don't round it down to the cent? Can't we round it down? When they raise this up, let's just say it's 308, 308,000 pay-per-views, right? That's what they announced. They round it up to 328. I mean, 349, 350. They take it all the way. We got to round this all the way up to make it seem more palatable to the listeners out there. We have to provide them enticement. So let's lie to their fucking face. It was 308, but we're going to say 350. No, why don't you just say 358 and put another 8 in there? No, man. That's not how we do it. So let me give you another hint. If it's 335, we're going to say it was 400,000. You know what I'm saying? You get it? If it's 400,000, we're going to take it up to 620,000. That's what we're going to do. And then, look, because they're not going to ever find out where the numbers are at anyway. No one knows the real raw numbers of these pay-per-views, but they will sit up here and dispute the fact that Tank haven't did solid numbers on pay-per-view. So when you say who did it outside of Canelo, they'll bring in somebody who fought Canelo. You know what I'm saying? They will bring up a name of a fighter who fought Canelo. You say it. Don't bring up Canelo. I'm just bringing up a fighter who has Canelo on their record. That's all I'm doing. Don't make such a big deal out of it. I give you a care package. I give you some slow burning weed, and I give you some edibles. Calm down, man. Come on, peace, man. Find your center. They will bring up a fighter who has fought Canelo Alvarez, y'all. I say, give me another name of fighters who doing numbers like Tank on pay-per-view, since y'all want to say he shouldn't be negotiating, right? And they will name somebody who fought Canelo that's never did those numbers again. Some of these fighters fighting Canelo haven't even really been on pay-per-view until they fought Canelo. And then when they fought him, they didn't win. But as we know, Gervonta Davis is undefeated. He's undefeated. The fighters who fought Canelo, which they want to use in an analogy, they have a loss on their record now. So has Canelo. Canelo has a loss on his record, plural. But understand this, people. It's okay to allow another name to be in the company when it comes to these pay-per-view numbers. You can't say the resume is trash to every freaking fighter who has a popularity value on the metric that's in your conversation. You got to show some type of LOVE, right? You take the TIME to show the LOVE. So if you up here juggling them two, why are you just gonna throw it all in the trash and say, well, Tank ain't did shit. He ain't fought nobody. I wish he'll fight this person. Who do you want him to fight? Well, Lomachenko. So let me get this straight. So Lomachenko, who doesn't have an undefeated record, and he doesn't have, the amount of wins that Tank has, nor the pay-per-view numbers. It's okay for you all to keep giving him the light, the spotlight. And he has losses. He didn't get the victory over Teofimo Lopez. He didn't get the victory over Orlando Salido. He didn't get the victory over per the records. So how much can he lose before y'all start automatically putting him in the shit meter when his name is mentioned? You have to ask yourself before Sunday. You have to say, you know what? I want to be a better person tomorrow. I understood what WCS was saying. I want to be a better person. Father God, I enter your house of worship, and I come here for you to baptize me. I prefer y'all get baptized instead of asking the pastor to put that oil on it, because y'all might come on here and y'all have first-degree burns on the motherfucking, because y'all full of that demon shit, that sinister, malicious. Y'all been biased for so long, he threw that damn oil on your ass. You start smell like goddamn fried chicken overcooking in the hot grease. Motherfuckers burning the fuck up. Y'all have to change y'all motherfucking ways, man. Look, if we're gonna say every fighter's trash that's on the way up, time they take one freaking loss, y'all happy. Y'all are happy, man. Look, y'all should spend that time boosting up these fighters. Okay, to fight who you want them to fight. But the people who you want them to fight, let me give you an example, just a small example. Y'all say y'all want Tank to fight Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is not considered a pay-per-view star. Shakur Stevenson, though he is a 3-division champion, is not considered a superstar. Why? Because y'all say his resume doesn't place him in that optimum freaking that high back, that chair that they love to take a picture. I mean, Shakur got a nice one out there with the crown on. No one's never placed him in that crowning king's chair, the high back with the crown, to say that heading into this fight with Gervonta Davis that he's on the same level. Just because they both have 3 divisions. Boxing is a business, so we have to equate the numbers. So once we add that up and equate, what Shakur Stevenson has done and what Tank is not even close. So what are other options? What are other variables for us to say that Shakur Stevenson is an absolute superstar comparing to you all want him to fight Tank? You saying, people have been on record as saying, well, Tank, he's not fighting for legacy. How? Have you took a gander at some of the guys that's in the Hall of Fame? Some of the guys that's in the Hall of Fame did less than freaking Tank right now. They did less than Shakur Stevenson right now. Shakur Stevenson is 9 on the pound for pound. I like Shakur Stevenson, right? I'm just giving you this grease. That's all. He's not even on the pound for pound list, but Tank is on the pound for pound list, right? People complain about him only fighting so many times a year, but Tank is the highlight. Shakur Stevenson, not so much. Just because I say Shakur Stevenson is not the highlight doesn't mean he can't box. Doesn't mean people don't want to come see him. But I seen all the sleep shots. I seen all the memes that they were saying people was walking out of Newark. I seen it all. Y'all show the picture of Terrence, Sokol, and another guy. They put up that picture of all these black men, this animated picture, all of them sleeping, and they was facing the opposite direction of the ring, y'all. That's how disrespectful it got. So what WCS is saying, like, how can y'all all of a sudden, being that some of y'all are trying to come with a new narrative, you was up here putting that thumbnail all over the place of them people sleeping, the animated cartoon of all them black men sleeping. But now you're turning back around and saying that the same fighter that put them guys to sleep, Tank Davis, should fight him. Do y'all really unpack what the fuck y'all got going on? Like, you're saying that Tank, he needs to fight Shakur Stevenson, the very same fighter that y'all was criticizing with all those memes that they put the motherfucking consumers and the butts in the seat to sleep. And they was walking out going home before the fight was over with. Man, come on, bro. Come on. Father God, help me. Help me guide them to the way, the truth, and the light. How can y'all sit up here and play those games, yo? Some of you same cats was sharing it. But now you're advocating for Gervonta Davis to fight Shakur Stevenson, the guy that you said was boring as hell when he fought Jeremiah Nakathilia, Tokakun Clary, and Edwin De Los Santos. And then more recent, Artem. And look, Shakur was up there explaining himself. He said, I closed the distance, but Crawford did say, yeah, you was moving, you was closing the distance, but you weren't letting your hands go. At that point in time, your listeners, you should understand that he was getting critiqued by the greats that surround him, Andre Ward and Terrence Crawford. So he does have some flaws. Whether he listened to them or not, that's up to him. But you all have to get it in your heads that this was the same fighter that you all were sharing all those memes, that now you're demanding Tank Davis to fight. You're demanding he fight the very same fighter that y'all was criticizing. So when you talk about Tank fighting for legacy, how can it be about legacy when you're criticizing a fighter who has the very same amount of divisions, and you're basically mirroring, or you're reciprocating the same criticism of that fighter having fought nobody, a boring fighter? You want to take a so-called, how you put it, a boring fighter, and you want Tank to fight a boring fighter. So if Tank go ahead and beat Shakur Stevenson, you're going to give him partial credit because you was up here criticizing damn Shakur Stevenson being a boring fighter in the first place. So how can Tank get criticized for legacy, but yet you want him to fight a guy who's in the process of building up notoriety and legacy in the sport too? And with that legacy, he's not considered to be on the same level as Tank. Shakur is he's not considered to be on the same level. Yeah, they're in the same division, but when it comes to the boxing business, how can he be on the same level? He's not a pay-per-view numbers maker right now. I mean, how can we even? No, we can't sit up here and let that shit slide like that, yo. Can't do that. Bud gonna stop Canelo in the building. What's good? I see you in the building. What's good on deck? That's all I'm saying. It gets a little shaky. You know, we have some boxing fans that's that's kind of short tempered right now, because in one breath they want to hype up all the amazing cards that went on from their favorite promotion, right? But then we get near the end of the year and we have the heavyweight rematch. All right. We had Beterbiev and Bivol. Everybody, these people was clamoring for that fight to happen. It happened. Beterbiev won. And, it's controversy in that. Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury is not rematching for the undisputed titles, just the unified titles. David Benavidez, of course. All the dramatics behind him and Canelo Alvarez. Now he's fighting a guy that y'all was saying he should fight, but he wasn't fighting. You saying he was ducking him. Who I don't think David Morrell is on the level of David Benavidez. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, it's just simple. Y'all want to always include resumes unless it's coming from a neighboring fighter or a foreign fighter. You know what I'm saying? Just because he's staying over here doesn't mean he was born in America. The man doesn't even have the freaking numbers that Benavidez has. But just because he's hanging around and the pool of fighters are shallow, y'all want to just start throwing names over there now to take the heat off Canelo Alvarez. Just like y'all did with Crawford. Y'all want to put all these other distractors up there so nobody be talking about Crawford facing Canelo. Y'all want to say he should fight David Benavidez. Y'all pull that shit, that okie doke with Benavidez for him to fight Boo Boo. He beat him and he never got the Canelo fight. So he had to move on. You think Crawford's going to fall suit and get the okie doke? No, he's not. Now you got him fight Morrell. Matter of fact, while I'm on Morrell, right? Let me pay you a visit right quick. David Morrell, right? On his box rec, he's 11-0 with 9 knockouts. He's coming off a fight with Hot Rod where he won a unanimous decision. Clearly, Ray Charles can see this resume and say, oh, no. David. Oh, David. You're not a friend of mine. He said David Morrell is not a friend of his when it comes to this boxing. Because he should not be stepping in there with freaking David Benavidez. Just because your first name is David don't make you a member. It doesn't mean you're ready. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying, doesn't mean you're ready to step in there with that monster. Look, you're talking about David Benavidez is 29-0, 24 knockouts. He's hosting a 82.76% knockout percentage. Look, Dave Morrell fans will say, yeah, that's why right there. Because, Dave Morrell has an 81.82% knockout percentage. He's a southpaw too. You got to include the southpaw every time. Southpaw. And David Benavidez are orthodox. But look, when it comes to the resume of Benavidez, Vostok, Andrade, Plant, Lemieux, we'll throw Kyron Davis in there. We'll throw Ronald Ellis in there too. Anthony Durrell. You know what I'm saying? Gabriel twice. Gabriel. I mean, he's been world champion. But David Morrell, man, 11-0. And y'all think he's on the level of Benavidez? People up there thinking that David Morrell is going to go up here and do something. And y'all got to stop it, man. Y'all got to understand that y'all are willing to give David Morrell the pass with 11 victories with no major sanctioning body championships from the WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO. He has none. But at least David Benavidez has earned that route twice in the WBC sanctioning body. So it's beyond me when I hear these so-called unemployed boxing scholars trying to say they're professors and they're standing in front of a class and trying to convince them that David Morrell is on the same level of David Benavidez, all because of his first name. Because the resume ain't adding up. I'm just going to leave that there. I was chatting the MF and game. Appreciate y'all for pulling up as always. Continue to support the channel and hit the like button on your way out. And for those of you that didn't hear Tyson Fury's words, I will bless you once again.
Bomb Squad!
He's pretty good though, right?
Yeah, he's a good
Best
boxer.
you faced?
No, nowhere near. Nowhere near. No. I think the fights were wilder when you bounced off the canvas 2 and 3 times and 10 knockdowns, and at any given moment you can be took out, is a lot more dangerous than having a boxing match with this guy.
Put some respect on this.